Hi everyone, I'm Malak Aldrawi and I am a third year health science student at Carleton University. I am a co-director at SciSoc and I'm also the VP Communications for Yarn for Change, which is a club that we have here at Carleton. And we have all sort of levels of our members are on all sort of levels. We have beginners and we also have some really good knitters or crocheters. I don't know if that's a word, but so today in this video specifically, it's going to be part of our Random 101 series, and I'm going to teach you how to knit, or the basics of knitting. So it's not going to be very hard. I'm just going to show you how to start it, or how to start your knitting process, then how to do it, and then how to close it in the end. So for this skill, you actually need some yarn, obviously. So I've got these two. I was going for a winter themed one, but that's all that I have. So I don't think purple really works. So I'm gonna stick with this gray one, and I'm not trying to match. Not really. And you also need two needles, or your two knitting needles. I have this size, which is size 6. I feel it works well with my size of yarn, but honestly, you're good to use anything that works with you and whatever feels good with your hand, I guess. I also have these two. I have 7 and 8, but I'm gonna stick with the 6 now. And yeah, I think that's all that you need to have, the yarn and your needles. So let's start. We're going to start with estimating the length of our project. So mine is going to be a very small square. So what you need to do is just measure or figure out the length of your project and then multiply by 3 and have this part of the yarn this long. So mine is gonna be, just like I said, short, and I think this is quite enough for me. So what I'm gonna do now is actually make this loop to make my slip knot, which is going to be put on my needle. So what you need to do is just hold this part of the yarn, which is the tail, and then behind the loop that you have, and then get your 2 fingers and pull through it. That's it, you have it. Now you need to get your needle and put it through this loop that you have just made and tighten it around the needle that you have, like this, and that's it. Now I have this tail here and I have my whole yarn on this side. So to do the first stitch, which is the first cast here on the needle, what you need to do is hold the tail that you have on your left hand, so the one that is not attached to anything, and then put your thumb behind it like this. So just have a loop on your finger, and then what you need to do is with the needle that you have, just put it underneath like this and hold it. Now with the yarn that it is attached to the yarn there, that's what I'm going to do. So like this, behind the needle, between them, so between the needle and the finger, and then like this. Now you have the second stitch here. Again, left hand, then my thumb behind, loop it around my finger, then this one is going to go underneath the loop that I have on my finger, but still hold using the yarn here, behind, between, like this, and then push through like this. Now, as you can see, we have 3, 1, 2, 3, again, and go that way. So one more, like this. Oopsie. This one is going to be behind, between, and then this will be pushed through and get that loop on the needle. So I'm going to do this for 10 times, and then I'm going to show you how it looks like. So now I have this needle with 12 of the first stitches that I just had, or I was just teaching you guys. So you can actually count every single one of them as a stitch. So I have 12. And now, as you can see, I've moved it to my left hand. I'm going to have my empty one on my right hand. So the next step is just very easy. So as you can see, the first stitch here, I'm going to pull or like push my empty needle through the first stitch, or like the first stitch here that you can see, and then behind. So now like I have 2 needles into that stitch, and then using my working yarn, which is attached to the ball of yarn there, I'm going to grab it and put it behind. So like as you can see, behind the yarn, the needle, this one, and then in between them. And then as you can see, this strand is actually here, so you can see it. So 1 second, here, this one here. So what you need to do is push the needle that you're working with through, so you can actually see it. This is the needle, this is the yarn, the working yarn that you're just working, or the strand of it, and pull like this, and then pull that stitch out of this needle into this one. So now you have this first one here. What you need to do now is just like tighten it up, and now you have the first one, and this one is called the knitting stitch. Let's remove this one like this. Now we're going to move to the second one, which is here. Pull through, then behind, in between, and then like this. Again, between these two, just push it through the first stitch that you have on the needle, then with the working yarn, behind them two, then in between the 2 needles, and then push through the strand that you're seeing, which is this one. Now, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 stitches here, and we have the rest here. So I'm gonna complete this part. So this needle now was the one that I actually had on my right hand, so it was the empty one, and this one that was the one with the yarn. So because this one has the yarn now, you need to switch it to your left hand and get your working needle on your right hand. So what you need to do actually is just like repeat the same process over and over again. So that's what I'm going to do for a while, so you can actually see it getting longer and longer. So again, I'm going to be a bit closer, between like this, between the 2, and then this is the strand that you have, and then out, and then you need to tighten it on the side. So again, this is your second stitch, so between them like this, and 1 second, so this is what you have. Again, like this, and get it out from the first needle to the next one that you're working on, and then tighten it. Again, between the 2, or like into the first stitch that you always have here, then get the yarn behind the first, like the 2 needles, so behind them both, circle it, and then between, and then push through, and this is the strand that you're working on right now, and then pull it through. So as you can see, you can actually see some sort of like, this is all what's going to get longer. So again, like this, and then yep, finished the second one here, and now I have it all on my left hand. Again, I did the first stitch, which is going to be like, this is the 3rd level, and I'm just going to repeat it now, like in between, like into the first stitch, and then behind the 2, in between, and push through. So instead of me showing you how I'm gonna like do it for I don't know how many, like for 30 minutes or so, I'm just gonna show you how it's gonna look like after I do like this step over and over again, and then I'll show you how you need to close the whole thing so it doesn't open up. What you need to do is, like for the first here, the first 2 stitches, you need to move them just like how you did all of these onto this one. So again, like this, pretty easy. This is, I think, is something that you're now comfortable doing. So like this, and then again like this. And then what you need to do, using this needle, you're going to get this, the first one here, and pull it through over the stitch that you have in front of it. So like this. So here, and then pull through. So now you only have 1 stitch here, and then you tighten it a bit. So just like you have seen before, we have 1 here, and you always need to have 2 to close off, or like to cast off. So again, you're going to do it like this, so like this, and then from the back, between, and then in front. We have 2, and then with this needle, you need to remove the one that is from the back. So pull it through, push it, and then get the one that was in the front like this. So as you can see, you're now like seeing all the stitches that we just removed are actually here. So we're just always going to make sure that we have 2 stitches on this needle. So like this, here, and then this one here in front of the one that we have 1 stitch, and do it that way. Yep, like this. We have 2 stitches, then using this one, then push this one in front of the other and remove it like this. So now you have 1 stitch like this. I'm going to complete this process, and then I'll show you how it's going to look like in the end. Now I only have 2 left here, so I'm just going to complete that so I can actually show it to you all in one like video. Like this, remove that one, pull it through the first one here, this, we have the last one. Okay, we're pretty close now. So the last one, again, sorry, this, and then pull through, and yeah, and then you just get this one here and pull it in front this one. So now you only have 1 last stitch, and you're done with this. Sorry, this was really close. So you're done with this needle. You can just put it wherever you want. So now you have this cute, really cute square, and as you can see, there's some sort of a ridge. That's how we closed it off. And yeah, you just need a scissors now, so I will use one to cut this short, so like maybe like a 10 inches one. So a second here. So yeah, I'll just cut it here. And what you need to do is just like this one here, just pull it above this one. So like just put it above what you have here, and then get this one here, like the one that is like part of the stitch, not the tail. So the tail is the one that you have here, and you just put it on the needle. So like this, then just get this one here and pull it through the needle like this, and just make sure that it's that you secure the tail and that you only have the tail on it like this. And yeah, so you have this thing here, and what you're gonna try and do is just pull it through like this, and here you go. That's it. It's now well secured because of the tail that you just used to secure it. And you have this cute, really cute, I got it, oh my god, this really cute, very stretchy actually, because the way, or like the knitting or the knitting shape or like pattern that we used. So this is how it's gonna look like, and you can easily just cut these two and you'll be good. Sometimes I try to do a small knot here just to secure it a bit more, just because I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust stuff. And I feel you can easily do that. So just like this. And yep, now we have like another small knot on it, and using the scissors, just cut it off and cut this one here that you just started with. And yep, you have this square, easy peasy. And yep, we're done. So we've got our small square here. So just like a small recap of everything that we did in this video. So we first showed you the yarn. So all that you need is the 2 needles and the yarn here. Then I showed you how to do a slip knot, or like first before that actually estimate the length of your project and then the length of the tail that you need. And then using the needle, you make a slip knot and then secure it on the needle. And then from there, you make your first stitches, or like first row of stitches, which is going to be like just a cast on. So you're like, you know how to cast on your yarn on the needle. And from there, you do your knitting stitch. So you just repeat every time, like move through, like you just move the stitches. You make a new row into it, and that would move it to the second needle, which I have no idea where it is now. Yeah, here is it. So just move through the needles until you have the length that you want. So once we had that length, we just removed, like we did our casting off, which is like removing our stitches from the needle to have it there. So we have like this cute ridge. So as you can see, we have this cute ridge here. And yeah, that would secure it, and then we tied in the end to have that knot that would secure our ending, so it doesn't actually, open. So now it's like all secured. It's really nice, and you can eventually make them, like you can actually make more stitches in the first row, like the first one ever, and like actually add to it once you have like bigger projects like a scarf or even like a sweater if you ever feel like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching me doing this. I know it was a bit hard, like the angle was a bit hard for me to like knit. So I hope it wasn't very hard to follow. And if you ever feel confused about anything, you can definitely email us, or even like message us on Instagram, and we can definitely help. And if you have any questions about Yarn for Change itself, which is like our club, you can find our Instagram page from here, or and then you can DM us to, like, if you want to get involved, or if you just have any questions about the yarn itself, or look from where we got it. And yeah, hopefully that was helpful and interesting. And thank you for watching me. Have a good night or day. I'm not sure, but yeah, have a good have a good one.